Secondly, Quran recitation. It is a requirement in Salah. Okay? The Fatiha, Surah Al-Fatiha should be recited without an error and should be clear and should be fully recited. Now, Shafi'is, especially those who consider Fatiha to be fard, they say if you make a mistake which would change the meaning to something wrong, or change the meaning, then your Fatiha is void, and some say your Salah would be void as a result. Others say, well, if it was unintentional and you didn't know, if someone didn't know Arabic and that's how he learned, he didn't have a teacher and so on, he would be excused. But the strictest madhab again in that is the Shafi madhab. If, for example, if someone said an'amta alayhim, you favored upon them, he said an'amtu alayhim, I favored upon them, instead of Allah he said I, damir to himself. They said that would make his qira'ah void, and qira'ah is fard. Qira'ah of Fatiha is fard. Now, Malikis, they say qira'ah mistake, unintentional, doesn't matter, even if it changes the meaning. But they do say in all madhab, if a person, he doesn't know how to read properly, and there are people who can recite better than him, meaning he makes mistakes, and there are people who don't make mistake in qira'ah, then he would be sinful to lead. And it would be sin to make a person lead who doesn't know how to read properly. If there is an imam who can read a salah, he is an imam, who leads all the salah, that's his job. Now, if that person can read Quran nicely to a good standard, that's okay. If there was a massive qari behind him, that wouldn't harm because he's just doing his job. But a normal person in a gathering, if he goes forward and his Quran is standard, simple, and some mistakes, and there's a guy behind him, an expert, there is no right for him to lead in that case. Okay? Some Arabs, they read Dad as Va. Some Pakistanis, Indian, they read Dad as Va. Okay? And because it is found in Arab as well, this wouldn't invalidate his salah if it wasn't done intentionally. But if you change it to any other word, instead of waladdallin, he said walassallin with a sad or something else, that would invalidate his salah. Okay? Unless he has an excuse that he just definitely cannot pronounce any of them, then he shouldn't be leading salah. Okay, and if he can find someone better than him in leading. Another thing with qira'ah, in the rukun of qira'ah, that the qira'ah should be in order. No one can read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and then Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen and then jump on to Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim and come back to Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim Malik Yawmiddin. You cannot change the order. The order must stay the same. Okay. Another examples of mistakes which are very bad and serious, which could make your Fatiha void. Iyaka na'budu. If someone says Iyaki na'budu, yeah. But sometimes there are mistakes which doesn't change the meaning to something negative. It probably doesn't have, actually may have a meaning, yeah, but it doesn't, might not invalidate his salah. For example, he said Iyaka na'budu and he read Iyaka na'buda. He put a fatha on dal. That would be wrong grammar, but it wouldn't give a meaning which would invalidate a salah. But if someone says Malik Yawmiddin, instead of dal he said ta, Malik Yawmiddin, he's the day of judgment, he made it the day of fig, yeah, that would be a very serious mistake. So we said qira'ah should be without mistakes. Qira'ah should be in correct order. There should be no unnecessary gaps in qira'ah. A person can't go Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen for no reason. Then he goes Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Now if he's got a problem, we're not talking about that. A natural breathing stop like you normally have in qira'ah, that's fine. But to stop for no reason, that is not allowed. And the only time he can stop in qira'ah, if for the madhahib, for example, Shafi'is, they say you can read Fatiha behind the Imam. Yeah? Let's say you join the Salah and Fatiha, Imam is about to end the Fatiha and you start Alhamdulillah, Bismillah and then Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and he says Waladdallin. They say you can say Ameen to match his Ameen and then continue from where you were. Clear? This is the Shafi view. Now, you must not stop in a place other than a end of ayah or somewhere where you can stop, a proper sentence. You can't say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Ameen Yawmiddin. You can't do that. Clear? This is for those madhahib which say that you can read behind Imam even though when you are when Imam is reading loudly. Which madhab is that? Only Shafi'is. Because Hanabila, they say you only read when the Imam is quiet to having a gap. Maliki says you don't read if he's reading loud, neither do Hanafis. Okay? And between the end of Fatiha and Ameen, there should be a very small natural gap. Waladdallin Ameen. There are, how do you say Ameen? You can say with mad. Ameen, or you can say Ameen. Or you can say Ameen, you can make it mad, you can have a natural long. Some people say Ameen. That's okay. You can say Ameen. That's okay. Some people say Ameen. Okay? That is not okay. It's not Ameen. Now, you can imagine why someone would say Ameen. Because normally you don't have a mad unless it's followed by a sukoon. In a word, the reason for mad is either the hamza or either a sukoon after it, meaning a shadda, like waladdallin. There's no shadda. But if someone, the reason for mad is usually the sukoon after it or the shadda. So, if someone is saying is long, then there must be a shadda after it, if naturally. But there is no. Okay?